Okay, get this. What if you could spend just 1 hour, a single hour, crafting one prompt, and in return get a fully fleshed out 28-page strategic plan? It sounds kind of wild, right? Well, today we're diving into a case study where one person did exactly that. They used a single, super detailed prompt to unlock an AI's creative power, and honestly, it might just change how you think about all of this.
And this really gets to the heart of the big question, doesn't it? The one so many of us in business and creative fields are wrestling with. We know AI can spit out an email or a goofy image, but can it actually think strategically? Can it come up with a real plan, spot opportunities, and cook up concepts that have genuine business impact? Well, let's find out.
I think this slide just perfectly sums up the problem we've all felt. You ask for a social media post and you get that generic, kind of useless fluff on the left, but what you need is what's on the right. A sharp, strategic idea that nails a specific audience and solves a real problem. Closing this gap, this chasm between bland fluff and strategic gold, that's what this is all about.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll dig into the AI ideation problem itself. Then, we'll look at the specific human-machine experiment. After that, we are diving deep inside that incredible 28-page document to see what's actually in it. We'll figure out why it works so well, and finally, we'll talk about what this means for the future of how we all create.
All right, let's kick things off with the AI ideation problem. Because, for all the hype and all the headlines, a lot of people are finding that the reality of using AI, well, it's a little underwhelming.
So, why do so many of these projects just fizzle out? Well, the data tells a pretty clear story. A staggering 54%, that's more than half, of AI projects get stuck in what's called pilot purgatory. The output is usually generic, teams get caught up in AI theater, using the tech for show but with no real return on investment. And maybe the biggest reason of all is this mistaken belief that a simple prompt is the same thing as a plan. As we're about to see, they are worlds apart.
And this is exactly the issue that a strategist named Elias Coulores wanted to take on. He set up this really cool experiment to test two things at once. First, his own skills at crafting prompts, and second, whether OpenAI's advanced model could finally close that gap and generate ideas that were genuinely strategic.
So the whole thing kicked off with a very human element, one single focused hour. Now, during that hour, Elias wasn't just typing a question. No, he was architecting a deeply detailed, strategic set of instructions for the AI. And then he hit go, and the machine took over. The AI chewed on that entire complex request for just 44 minutes. I mean, think about that ratio for a second. 1 hour of high-level human strategy unleashed nearly an hour of pure, focused computational power.
And it wasn't just, making things up in a black box. In that time, the AI ran 55 separate web searches. It was actively going out and grabbing current, relevant data.
And it synthesized all that information from 13 different external sources to build out its strategy. So, to recap, 1 hour of human work, 44 minutes of machine time, 55 searches, 13 sources. So, what did all of that actually produce?
This. A 28-page document. And we're not talking a simple bulleted list of ideas. We're talking a fully formed PDF, packed to the gills with hyper-specific, totally actionable, and genuinely strategic concepts.
So what does something like this even look like? Let's actually crack it open and look at a few examples, just to see how impressively strategic these AI-generated concepts really were.
Take this one, for example, a concept called Brief ER. Now, the AI didn't just say, make videos about marketing. It pinpointed a specific, really expensive business problem, bad briefs wasting up to a third of ad budgets. And then it proposed a super creative solution, a live brief surgery series with a clear before and after format and even a downloadable template. See? That's not just content generation. That is strategic problem solving.
Or look at the sheer storytelling power in this hook, from a concept the AI called the neurodivergent edge. The AI didn't just list a trait, it framed it as a business superpower, directly connecting a unique way of thinking to finding billions of euros in waste. Now that is a headline that makes a CEO sit up and pay attention.
Or check out Blue Ocean Blitz. This is so much more than a content idea. It's a whole strategic framework disguised as a fun video series. It's about applying really high-level business theories, like blue ocean strategy and first principles thinking, to find brand new revenue streams. And it even builds in an interactive part to turn viewers into co-creators. So smart.
And this is where it gets really amazing. The AI showed this incredible level of nuance. For one of the wilder ideas, like an AI strategy wrap, it actually assigned it a risk/spice level of WTF. That shows it understands not just the idea, but the tone, the potential brand risk, the whole cultural context. That's a layer of sophistication it's way beyond simple text generation.
So yeah, the output was clearly phenomenal. But why? The magic here wasn't just the AI. We've got to deconstruct the human side of this partnership, the power prompt.
And this brings us to the secret sauce behind this whole thing, something we can call power prompting. This isn't just asking a question. It's the art of structuring your instructions with the same kind of rigor you would for a strategic brief you'd give to a human team. You're literally embedding the strategy into the prompt, so you can guide the machine's incredible power.
So what goes into a power prompt? Well, we can pretty much reverse engineer the key ingredients from the output. You have to define your target audience and their specific pain points. You've got to specify formats, channels, and the right tone of voice. You set creative constraints, like that risk level we saw. And, this is crucial, you demand actionable details like KPIs and clear calls to action. You're not just giving the AI a task, you're building a perfectly crafted strategic sandbox for it to play in.
And this all leads us to the final, and maybe the biggest question. What does this mean for the future of how we all work? We're clearly moving beyond just simple prompts and into what looks like a real partnership.
And what's maybe the single most important lesson in all of this? Well, it actually comes from the AI-generated document itself. The machine literally wrote, "A prompt is not a plan." Even the AI gets it. It understands that it's an incredibly powerful starting point, but it's not the final strategy. This really points to the new reality of co-creation, doesn't it? The human is the strategist. The AI is the superpowered tool. Our job is to bring the vision and the strategic direction. The AI's job is to bring the speed, the scale, and the raw creative firepower to make that vision a reality faster than we ever thought possible.
So I'll just leave you with this one thought to chew on. If one person can generate this much strategic thinking from a single one-hour prompt, what's the new limit for your creativity, for your team's creativity? The game has definitely changed.